One of the hardest parts about coaching football is actually teaching the kids how to learn the game itself. And it's mainly because there are so many moving parts to the game of football. I've been running Victory Sports for the last 10 years and have coached youth and high school football for the last 15. And here are the easiest ways that we found to teach kids football. So we're going to cover what we call the core 3 fundamentals that we think that every football player should know. So these 3 elements will help you build any single football player on your team. And if you want even more details about these 3 elements, check out our youth coaching system that we have in the description. Now, the first element is stance and start. It does not matter what position you play. If you start slow, you won't create any knockback on defense. You won't create any speed or power on offense. And the line of scrimmage won't be able to be moved in your favor. Everything you do starts from your stance. In a 2-point stance, we want to make sure that our chest is over our knees and that there is significant lean forward and that we have a forward shin angle created. That way our players are able to run off the line of scrimmage with as much speed as possible. If you teach a 3-point stance, simply put your feet at a 45-degree angle, squat down with your elbows on your knees, and then lean forward on your fingertips. The player should be able to comfortably put their weight on their fingertips with their hips slightly above their chest. The 2-point and the 3-point stance, in my opinion, are severely undercoached. So if you can just create a powerful stance for your players, again, that's the bare minimum and the barrier to entry to at least get your players to fire off the football with intent. Next, we'll look at the second element, and that's blocking. Unless you play quarterback, every player, running back, wide receiver, offensive line, does not necessarily matter. They're going to have to learn how to block. And you need to block in order to effectively move the ball on offense. The issue with blocking is a lot of players do it wrong. They'll use their elbows or they'll lose leverage because they're not putting their hands properly or they're not putting their head in the proper place. Now, here's how we found to teach a perfect blocking technique. So first, ensure the head is on the correct side of the body. So if you're down blocking, you got to make sure your head's in the right way because the head is going to take the rest of the body with it. So if your head's in the wrong place, everything else is going to be out leveraged. Next, we want to fit the hands inside of the shoulder pad. Ideally, you want to grab the shoulder pads, keep the elbows in nice and tight, and then drive and run your feet. We don't necessarily want to teach elbow blocking because we have hands and we can grab things. Let's grab them. And of course, you only get in trouble with holding is if the player gets away from you and you start to lose leverage, and then you try to pull him backwards. So once you start to lose leverage, we have to disengage our hands and then be able to torque the shoulder to be able to block them to the play side. Now, this is one quote I love from Coach Dante Scarnecchia when we had him on our podcast. He says, you use your lower body to drive and you use your upper body to control. So once you're connected, stay under the defensive player's chin and we want to drive them out of the hole, of course, with our legs, and we want to control them with our hands and our upper body. And this works for all positions, okay, not just offensive line, but when you stock block, it all translates to the same thing, and same thing for the running back stepping up blocking on a pass play or anything else. We want to make sure we have a wide base. We want to make sure we have an effective base and our hands are locked on. Next, we'll look at, in my opinion, one of the hardest things to teach in football, and of course, that's tackling. Tackling is tough because there's so many philosophies out there, right? You're going to have head across, you're going to have head out of the tackle, you're going to have people teaching bite the football. There's just so many out there. In our opinion, the best one, of course, is just using shoulder style tackling with your head out of the tackle. Other people refer to this as rugby tackling. It's the safest out there, and it's going to keep your kids healthy throughout the entire season. Now that we know what style we're going to teach, now we're actually going to take a look at how you would teach tackling. What our recommendation is that you teach in progression. Remember, the body doesn't want contact, right? We do everything we possibly can in our daily lives to avoid contact. So it doesn't make necessarily sense to be able to take a kid from just tackling a bag and then put him in a live drill and then wondering why he doesn't make efficient contact, right? We have to introduce that contact and progression. This progression-based system helps to build confidence as well. What's the difference between poor tackling and great tacklers is their ability to put their shoulder on the thighs of a ball carrier. And we want to build that confidence up from the base level all the way to an advanced level. So the progression-based system that we teach is, of course, you tackle stationary bag. This is just to get the player used to making contact with something that's stationary. Teach their body what it feels like to get a shoulder pad onto something that's stationary, have them squeeze it and take it to the ground. Next, we want to tackle moving bags. The reason we want to tackle moving bags is because we need to teach our body what it's like to grab. So we want to grab, hold on as tight as we can, and then teach our bodies how to fall to the ground. Remember, impact on the ground is pretty much the same as impact on a moving player. Impact is impact. So we want to teach our players how to grab it, get to the ground, and then get up safely. Our head isn't hitting against the ground. We're not just throwing our bodies to the ground. We're controlling ourselves in a safe environment. Next, we want to teach our players how to actually wrap a ball carrier or a person with a bag that's protecting the ball carrier. So we use these stationary drills here where players are just standing still and they're just getting a good shoulder tackle on it and then bringing to the ground. Again, squeezing the legs to immobilize the ball carrier. Next, we're going to make the ball carrier move with the bag, again, protecting themselves, but it allows our players to go left or right and be able to make a tackle with a moving object. So now we have to realign ourselves. This player here is moving left or right at random, and they got to hit the player and then bring them to the ground. Now that we've built enough confidence through all those levels of teachings, now we can introduce the player to a live environment where they can make a tackle. Again, everything they've already done with the moving player and where to put their head. Very important that they put their head out of the tackle and use their shoulder pad, wrap the thighs, and then bring the ball carrier down. Now, in our opinion, these three fundamentals are the must-haves for any kid trying to learn football. And again, we recommend you start there and then build on top of that foundation. If you want to learn even more about tackling, check out this video here. It will go more in depth for you.